Okay, the London Souls. What a great sound. You guys is a big sound for two people. The power duo. Who would have thunk? Your band used to be bigger, right? You used to have more people playing with you, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just decided to cut it down.
We'd always been the nucleus, us two. So
Yeah.
we started out as 4-piece,
Right.
and then it went down to 3, and then it went down to 2, and then it went down to 1 for a couple days.
Right.
Well, let's back up a little. I mean, Chris, just tell us where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York,
In New York. Yeah.
Long Island.
Musical family.
Yeah, my father's a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't odd for you to be interested in music and practice and stuff like that.
Well, it's always odd,
Yeah.
but it was less odd.
Yeah. Did he actually help you and say, hey, you might try this or check this record out or
Yeah, he hit me to a few cool things musically.
Yeah.
Inspired me, but he never sat down and said like,
Right.
here, try this.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Tash? Where did you grow up?
My parents were both musicians, so my father played everything. He played like 27 instruments, all, brass instruments and guitar later on and piano. My mother was a pianist, classical pianist, but also opera singer.
Wow.
So we grew up listening to like a lot of church music. They both grew up in the church, so my first concert was in church.
Yeah.
And then I never really knew about rock and roll as a kid, except for like Black Hole Sun. You know what I mean? And like Nirvana, that was it. Shout out to Soundgarden.
But did you listen to like gospel music, like Dorothy Love Coates and Sister
Mahalia
Rosetta
Jackson.
Tharpe or Mahalia Jackson?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Mahalia Jackson
Yeah.
and staple singers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Primarily.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a solid foundation. We were lucky enough to have Pop Staples and of course Mavis on the show, many times. So that was
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. How did you two meet?
We met in the city, in New York City.
Yeah.
Not Denver.
Not in school, but but when you were like teenagers. And,
Yeah, we were in high school.
Yeah. And you could see that you were the odd ones who were into music, or how did you find each other?
I mean, yeah, kind of. Like he was saying, it was bigger before, so we were kind of like a group of friends.
Yeah.
We had mutual friends and on many different ends, so we kind of would have come together regardless if we started a band or if we had like a Craigslist ad or however people do it now. But
That's what I should have said.
We met on Craigslist. Did you have any early cool band names?
Not really.
No.
No.
Well, I think that there's an amazing thing about growing up in New York City because everything's there all the time. So there's a lot of great music to be inspired by. There's also a bit of a work ethic just because there's a lot of competition, right?
There is.
yeah, that was the fun part about starting was we were too young to play in the bars that we played in. So we really had to earn our spot. They had to take a liking to us. Like, all right, well, we saw his ID, but we can play the show. It's fine. That was
cool.
the first couple of years.
Was there a place? Was there like a particular bar that was like your kind of home base for a while when you were starting out?
We started at Kenny's Castaways,
Oh yeah,
which is such a dive. It's not there anymore.
yeah, I remember that place.
But that was our first couple shows, I think, in bars. We were playing in school events and stuff too.
Yeah.
We were in high school.
But the cool thing about New York is it's really humbling, I think, because the best musicians in the world come through there. So you get to see them and then go into like a practice hole of self-hate
Right.
and get better,
That's what I did. Like 10 hours a day.
That's it. I mean, you get inspired and then you get depressed. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here.
It's ebb and flow.
Yeah. And then you pick yourself up and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a constant process, but it's cool. And so here you are. You've got this sound now. Tash, Neal, I should mention that you were hit by a car. Mm-hmm. And were you in New York, just a pedestrian at the time?
Yeah, man, so I was in a taxi cab. I wasn't even walking. I was like
wow.
a normal person who has a cab. And was in the cab. I got hit by a drag racer, like James Dean style. Like who's heard of drag racing, right? In a long time.
On Broadway.
On Broadway and Bleecker Street. And I got hit like 100 miles per hour and was basically dead for like a couple of days. Chris was there.
Yeah.
You were there because you came to see him in the hospital. You were in the cab. Yeah. And so it was it was a huge, horrible accident. You're in a coma, or what happened?
Yeah, I was in a coma for a little less than a week, and we didn't know it was gonna happen. So like, they tried to wake me up once, and it wasn't looking good. And then they woke me up a second time, and they were like, "Listen, he's probably not gonna be able to speak. He's probably not gonna be able to remember anything."
Yeah.
But I did, and I was able to speak, and I could remember everybody in the room. Everyone's crying. And I was like, "What happened?" I didn't know. I was like, "Why are you guys so upset? And what am I doing here?"
And he was really thirsty.
I was so thirsty. I just wanted water.
Yeah.
You were there. I remember that. Chris,
Wow,
get
that
me
must
out
have
of
been-
here.
That must have been really, really hard for you, Chris. That must have been
No,
hard,
not
almost
for
harder.
me.
Yeah.
No. I was looking at him. I was like, what am I?
Yeah.
How am I gonna feel bad for myself?
Yeah.
But I was real thankful. Like, he was there, like, late night, like a true friend, just by my side. I couldn't get up, but we watched some funny television.
That we did.
We watched The Bachelorette for the first time. Cracking jokes in the hospital. It was great.
I've got my life back. I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I want to watch The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't work the remote yet.
Yeah, Now, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that you were actually listening when you were in sort of recovering and just getting your thoughts back, getting oriented. That you had a chance to listen to your new record that you just made, and you had no recollection of making it.
I forgot that we did it.
Yeah.
And kind of like, so when I woke up the first couple of days, my father was there and had a guitar around. So I knew I had a connection to that, and kind of played a couple of chords. So I was like, okay, this seems familiar. But then when I heard the record, I was so excited. I was like, oh man, this is great. And I was like, I felt like I didn't have to record it. Like, I woke up and I was like, it's done, this is awesome. It was great. And it inspired me to relearn all the songs, and yeah, it's really inspiring.
Wow. You are strong.
Yeah.
It's true.
And talented. That's a crazy story.
Definitely true.
I was happy, man.
And do you have any you have metal in your head or anything like that?
Yeah,
No?
so, well, not metal, but like they took out half of my skull, so I have a plate, like the sort of new mutant kind of plate thing that they put in. So I don't go off in the. Everyone always asks, like, do you go off in the metal detector? I'm like, nah, I don't. Sorry, I don't. But they always want to pat my head.
Yeah.
Something always goes off. It's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm working with TSA. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, it is a, if nothing else, it was a bonding experience for you guys, and you sound like you've been, there's a cool thing about sibling harmony where voices, you get used to each other and you sing together for a long time. You have that really great vocal blend, and you're absolutely
Thanks.
locked in. It's a cool sound.
Thank you.
Well, I'm excited about hearing more music, and these guys, I know they're going to be on tour with Sturgill Simpson, which when I first heard about it, I thought that's kind of an odd combination, but in a way, partly being a duo and just singing original songs and playing guitar and drums. I mean, it's kind of universal. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife can fit into almost any musical scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I think they'll dig us.
Yeah.
And Sturgill's, he's kind of an alternative guy, also. It's not like you're opening for Toby Keith or something. Like
Exactly.
Nah, that's the thing. It's like we could find mutual ground, even though we maybe on the surface come from different musical places. I think we both listen to Hank Williams. We both love James Brown, like as separate artists. Not us two, but he, Sturgill, and the band as well. So I think we both like all kinds of music. And different styles of music, and that is inspiring, I think, to all musicians who want to get better.
Yeah, as long as you find that common place where it starts, from a soulful place. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, listen, good luck on that tour, and good luck just in general. It's you've got so much room, as a duo. You've got all this space.
Yep.
And but it also is a beautiful full sound. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, the London Souls.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick. See you, Chris.